Hello, fellow teacher. If you've been looking for tools to create a safe, connected, and collaborative classroom, you've come to the right place. In my last video, I introduced one of my favorite activities for the beginning of the year, and in this video, I'll show you 4 more of my go-to activities to break the ice and get the sense of fellowship, the feeling of belonging that makes learning easier right from the start. My name is Laura Jääskeläinen. I'm a teacher from Finland turned facilitator in group dynamics and team development. I'm also the author of a book that's helped thousands of teachers in Finland to foster a positive learning environment, and hopefully it will be helpful outside Finland as well. But before the English version gets published, I want to give you some activities already. As humans, we are a deeply social species. But we often forget that because the world we live in is so individualistic. However, our brains are extremely wired for connection. Unconsciously, we're constantly scanning our groups. Can I trust these people? What do they think of me? Am I accepted as I am? What's my place in this group? Do I belong? Am I needed here, or will I be left out? Our sense of psychological safety is built on those questions. If we don't have clear answers, tension builds up. And that tension can show up in many ways, as resistance to group work, as silence and disengagement, or as disruptive behavior. And all of these things get in the way of learning. That's why we need to help our students to get to know one another and feel more comfortable together. Because let's face it, that doesn't happen on its own, not between all the classmates anyway. And why leave it to chance when we can intentionally guide the group dynamics in a positive direction? Here are 4 activities to help you build connection when the group begins to form. The first activity is called Eyes Meet. This one is done in silence. Stand in a circle. Each participant looks at the person to their left and then continues around the circle, pausing briefly to look at each person. When 2 people notice they are looking directly at each other, they give a small nod and quietly switch places. In the new spot, they repeat the process. Even though no one speaks during this activity, you'll often start to hear some giggles as the encounters make students laugh, and that's a good thing. During the activity, everyone can participate in the way that feels comfortable for them. You might see someone go, when passing the teacher, for example, which is totally okay and understandable. But as the group safety grows, eye contact usually becomes easier. You can also use this activity to support students' social emotional learning. After the activity, you can ask, how did it feel to make eye contact? Why can it feel difficult sometimes? What helps make it easier? Another activity I like is called Me in a Nutshell. This is both a self-awareness and getting to know you activity. And you can download this printable sheet from my website or have the students draw the nut shape on a piece of paper. In the center, they write their name. Around it, at the top left corner, one thing you like. For me, it's people. I love people. Bottom left corner, one thing you don't like, but not a person. I'm not a fan of washing the dishes. Bottom right corner, describe yourself with 1 positive word. I always get new ideas, so I put creative. Top right corner, something you'd like to learn. And I would love to learn how to get better at making these videos because I keep messing up all the time. Originally, I learned this in the way that the students would then introduce themselves to the group individually. But normally, I have the students work in pairs first. They'll introduce themselves to each other in a nutshell, or they can choose just one thing. And then the partner introduces their partner to the group based on what they said. I like this lower barrier version more especially in the beginning, because it's always easier to talk to just one person first, and it's easier to introduce a partner to the class than to introduce yourself. The third activity is called passing greetings. It's for learning each other's names, but it also builds connections. The group sits in a circle. You need an object to pass. It can be a ball, teddy bear, but also crumpled paper will do. And first the teacher throws it randomly to someone and says, I'm sending greetings to Sarah, for example. And Sarah then catches it and says, I got greetings from the teacher, or Laura, as my students would say, and I'm sending greetings to Tom, for example. And I like this one because each name gets repeated. Everyone has a turn, a moment of focus. There's time to look at everyone and see who we got here in our group. But no one stays in the spotlight for too long. If you want to turn this into a faster version, a fun game, you can try the name tap. This works best after everyone remembers each other's names, and you sit in a circle with one person standing in the middle holding a rolled up paper or newspaper. And someone in the circle says, greetings to Anna, for example. The person in the middle tries to gently tap Anna on the knee before Anna sends greetings to someone else. If caught, Anna then moves to the middle. Once the group is comfortable, you can add a rule. If the middle person forgets to send greetings before sitting down, after they've left the middle, they can be tapped and must return to the middle. This adds even more humor to the game. You'll find another great activity from my first video, and it should appear somewhere around here probably. And you'll find the full instructions for all of these activities on my website. Feel free to download the PDFs and use them in your own work, however you see fit. If this video resonates with you, go ahead and press the like button and subscribe if you'd like more ideas like these. So what do you think of these activities? Would they work in your classroom? Also let me know in the comments, where are you watching from? I'm very curious to see where in the world these ideas are helpful. I'll be back soon with more practical tools. Until then, take care.